What's up? What's going on, gang? Pip and dip. What up, dude? What's up, options? My brother. Yeah, right. I can't be playing that. That's how you get slayed. What the fuck is you doing, dog? My dog is a little dumb. He couldn't open the door. You're welcome, brother. You're very welcome. So, what did gold do today on top one on the competition? I'm in some shorts on the Nasdaq here. We could see some drawdown potentially to 77 pips, but I mean, I have enough drawdown to hold that before possible rejection. And I'm hoping that we just create a top wick, maybe break even for tonight, and then start plummeting down and dropping these 200 pips. Because if so, I have a TP here. These TPs are insane. These TPs are insane. But we'll see what happens. We don't have any bottom wicks here, so that's what I'm anticipating for price to come down to at least make a bottom wick for this 4-hour candle. And that's when I would anticipate, and I would be in at 4-hour no bottom wick is $75 pips away. What up, Jonathan? My dog. So, gold right now is starting to drive up. We've created a bottom wick already for the daily candle upon market open. It's only a 10 pip wick. It ain't shit. Why am I so zoomed in? It's literally a doji day. So, this is what I was talking about last week, this level here. That we could be pulling back and pausing at this level. So I really wanted to see what price did at this level. And then last week we had that massive drop and price froze right at the level. Literally, bro, respecting it to the T. You can see that that is fucking clean as shit. Rejects it here, rejects it here, reject it again. So we've been rejecting this continuously. So we have kind of like a double bottom here on the daily. You know what I mean? We have boom, boom, and we're about to shoot up. So with that being said, I knew you guys would notice that. So with that being said, this level's fucking strong, and we wicked off it several times. This daily has pulled back and closed bearish, so that's interesting. 1, 2, 3. This was the pullback today. I want to see us blast through this level to really confirm that we're heading up. How many pips do we have till there? That's 160 pips away. Alright, so let me look at the smaller range, because that range is fucking huge. So price drives off this level, retraces, reacts off this level right here on the 4 hour. So what do we see? Price drives up off the same level, retraces around the same level, and rejects around the same level, forming a support on the 4 hour around the same exact level. So we can expect something like this to happen on the continuation up. We don't have a bottom wick on the daily candle, so I would like to see a pullback before a continuation, right? Or at least some consolidation here, a retest of the bottom before a drive up, something kind of like this. Or price to come down, reject, fake out, and then we start to drive. Price came down, formed support, and this is the initial drive off the support right now. So I want to confirm that this is not a fake out to the upside before a continuation down. So that's what I really want to confirm. So I want to see structure being formed here, so I can then take some sort of buys here on our way up. We're at a very strong level for buys, so I would not be opposed to taking buys early in this session tonight. The 30-minute closed with no bottom wick. The current 30-minute came down, tried to create a bottom wick for the previous 30 and started driving bullish. So we might be able to see a little pop here. So let's see what we can get. Let's see if we can get some continuations to the upside here. We'll be breaking into this clean range once we start closing above here. I wouldn't consider this move a long-lived move because of the tiny bottom wick on the daily. So we could scalp some buys on the way up here. Our 5 is starting to scoop too. Jeez. Man, if this would have closed and created a bottom wick first and then flipped on the rebreak of the highs, we would have had this 1 minute structure forming, and it would have been very clean. I would have taken a rebreak of the daily high here, but we have no bottom wick here on the 15. So if we would have had a bottom wick here on the 15, picture what that would have looked like on the 1 minute, right? Your 1 minute formed a support, you had a breakout candle, you formed a resistance, the candle came down, wicked into the previous range, and then broke the highs. That would literally be your celery play in action. That would be your celery play on the 1 minute time frame right here. That would be the celery. So if we had that on the side, that would be a range 2 breakout on the 1 minute time frame, and you would get the celery as your entry type. So that's why that bottom wick is very important. We didn't get the bottom wick. I couldn't get the entry because it's not the right setup. Yes, price is driving. Yes, my analysis was correct. Yes, the daily break of the highs was valid. Yes, the 15 closure above this current range is valid, but the no bottom wick caused me not to have an entry. Even though we could push here, we're scooping. That no bottom wick caused me not to have an entry. And like we said last stream, and then on last stream, we saw how you guys were asking me, oh, would you not take the rebreak of the daily low as an entry? Like today, we rebroke the daily high. Well, because of that no bottom wick on that one day, we had no top wick on the 30. We had no top wick on the hourly. That is what caused me not to take the rebreak of the low, because we still needed to come down and grab orders. We needed to grab top wicks for those candles before a strong continuation. So that, and then the candles broke out just like this. The daily break of the low was this wick. Price didn't break the low and it just started driving back up. So this would have been a good buy if we had a bottom wick here on the 15. That 1 minute is just clean. The 1 minute closing above, this is just clean straight up. We're breaking through this area here now. If we remain above here, we're smashing through to the top of the range. Which would be good. We would be creating a top wick without a bottom wick for the daily. So that could be that we're starting to finally break below these ranges to continue down. If gold can keep dropping, dude. Right now we're getting, you pattern traders, we're getting a wedge right here. And it looks like price is about to break out in one direction, right? So price is starting to consolidate smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So we'll see what happens here. So earlier in the stream, I was up like 700 bucks on this, and now I'm break even basically. Yeah, once this flips bullish, we might start getting some fills back up here. Let's see. Am I gonna close out here? What's our daily looking like? What's our 4-hour looking like? Fuck it. Go back to my favorite time frame. My 5-minute and my 1-minute. So, we are starting to, we closed above here on the 5-minute. We're starting to drive up now on the re-break of the highs here. I want a bottom wick on this hourly. I mean, a bottom wick on this 5. I need these bottom wicks. If we're starting to trickle up without bottom wicks, I don't have an entry. See, we scooped perfectly fine here. So see, here on the re-break of the high is normally where I would take my entry. So this 5 came down to that 5-minute entry. Yeah, I'm gonna let it rock here. We're not giving me that bottom wick unless we wick down into here and then flip bullish again, re-breaking the highs. Then I would consider taking buys. I need a bottom wick. That's too ugly without it. That's crazy. I just saw some guy on Instagram that bought a brand new TRX and he put Christmas lights on it and it scratched up the entire fucking car. Have a good workout, brother. I'm gonna go to the gym at 7. My cousin's gonna meet me at the gym at 7. I was hoping to see if I can get possibly a trade here. But we're not really forming how I like. I could take some buys on the re-break of the high here. Now that we've came down, we've grabbed the bottom wick for this. We're kind of respecting this support here. I can take some buys on the re-break of that high. Yeah, yo, drop a like, everybody. I must have a buy stop here and just give it a shot. I want a clear break. Our daily range is 35 pips. So if we do start to flip bearish here, creating that daily top wick, that would be it for me. Oh, that wicked me in by a hair. Andy Elliott. Who's Andy Elliott? Are you making me Google something? Oh, that guy. See, I don't even know this guy's name, bro. It's like, first you're selling workout courses, then you're selling how to sell workout courses, then you're selling how to public speak, then you're selling real estate courses, and now you're selling how to grow your HVAC business course. How are you an expert in all of these fields all at the same time? No, you're just outsourcing the knowledge to someone who's made a couple $1 million in HVAC, and then now you're charging a premium so that because you're the middleman now, so you're the fucking broker now between the customer and the HVAC guy that's trying to make some extra money. Fucking dumb, bro. And what are they gonna tell you? Oh, you gotta advertise more, bro. Duh. Who doesn't fucking know that? Oh, bro, you gotta raise your prices. Who doesn't know that you have to advertise more and raise more money? Odd NZD. I don't look at other pairs. I'm gonna trade right now. If I wasn't, I would look at something else. Well, let's see. This looks like it's not moving. We just had a 5-minute closure. Yeah, I'm closing this right here at break even. This is a trash move right now. This push should have gave us a fucking 10-15 pip pop. Maybe it's gonna do it now. Yeah, it's about to do it right now. But that 5 closing the way it did, these multiple 5s closing the way it did. But look, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not lying. I don't make shit up. Look at how this shit's about to fucking pop. Because of the entry, because of what it did, because it closed above this area, because it's riding the 10 SMA, because it broke the daily high, but because the wicks are not in the right spot, I cannot be in the trade. Because I have no bottom wicks, I can't be in the trade. Because there's no wick that is part of my plan, that's part of my trading plan, I cannot be in the trade. I might be right, and I chalk this down, I'm going to write it down to say, okay, when can I disregard the top and bottom wick? When is that 1% chance that it's not going to create that bottom wick first? So, my plan says, look at the way this 5-minute candle closed. No bottom wick, no bottom wick, no bottom wick, no bottom wick. The way these are closing is just not ideal. But, structure is structure and price is price. Look at that shit. We just popped 7 pips from my entry. I had a re-break of the high right here. My break even would have been right here. Maybe here. Which would be 8 pips. Not bad. Oh, we're in drawdown on the account now. That is looking like a bullish structure, like it's about to drive up. But I have enough margin to hold pass through here. I think I should be alright. Yeah, bro. One thing I've learned being in the service industry and the sales industry is that if you just do your job and you're actually helping somebody, the money just flows in. Damn, look at this nice trade. The money just flows in. For me to take more entries or buys up to fill the rest of the range, we would have to form the same thing we did here above here. So this is a strong bearish area here. And because of the fact that we have no bottom wicks here on our way up, we could reject at any one of these points. But to confirm that we're not going to reject, we have to do the same thing that we just created here and ride the SMA as well. We can't be crossing over the SMA or starting to tap it or anything like that, because then that'll invalidate the trade. When you see here the price is trending, you see that as soon as you cross the SMA, price starts to fucking shift, right? So you can ride it all the way through, and you can ride it all the way through and try to catch your entries as it's riding. That's one thing that I've learned from Market Mechanic that I fucking love. Maybe I pussied out a little bit on this trade, but those wicks are very, 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 very important. I was also not risking a whole lot on the trade. So that's something else I have to look at to see. On the trades where my stop loss isn't that big, I'm better off letting it hit stop loss and just letting the trade rock instead of going break even, because sometimes it might just trickle up there. But trades like this, you have to take the data down, right? So I gotta mark how many times does price drive without my wick, without the bottom wick that I need, or the top wick that I need. So how many times have I gotten out break even because there's no top or bottom wick and prices drove, and how many times has it saved me? So as of now, it saved me way more times than prices drove. All right, I got off this, so I'll look at odd. NZD. So you're bearish, but you've closed right, respecting this level on the weekly. The daily's been trickling down, kind of not doing shit. We closed below the most recent, but we still respected the overall. Our 4-hour has formed support here. We've wicked down into this area, and now we're starting to drive up, right? We've rejected the weekly 10 SMA, or the 4-hour 10 SMA. But now we're underneath it on the hourly, and we're starting to drive up, right? We've closed kind of respecting here on the hourly, but we're closing above. So we're starting to show some upward momentum here. So we've closed above the most recent. We formed support kind of high up. We're scooping on the hourly. This hourly slightly closed above, and now this candle's about to close. This hourly might close doji above. So the 30-minute is starting to form support here, so we might be getting some sort of push up here. On the 5-minute, on the 15-minute, we're still respecting here. We've broken the lows and tried to drive and failed, and now we've respected resistance here. So let's mark this up as a resistance that we're respecting. We've broken the high, rebroken the high, tried to break the high, and then tried to break the high again and failed to drive up. So this is how many times we failed to drive up. So that's telling me that our probability of it re-breaking the high and driving is likely not that high. We've already tried to re-break the highs many times, and it hasn't driven yet. So we're scooping on the 5. So I mean, this break might be it. Because of the fact that we tried to break the highs, and we've came down to the daily lows and still came right back up to the daily highs and not continue to break the lows. Because you're scooping here on the 5-minute and you're starting to close above, a buy stop on the break of the high might not be bad. But you do have this level here, so you might want to go break even kind of quick, unless you're willing to risk holding some drawdown. Because if you do break these wicks here that break the highs, the next level of rejection is here at 30 pips or 3 pips. I don't know if that's 30 pips. Maybe that's 30 pips. But what do you see? You see that price has rejected the lows, is starting to come up and respecting this support that's right here. We now have a resistance right here. So we have to see what price is doing on its way up to that resistance. Is it flying up like this where it can reject easily? Because when you fly up like this, there's not that many orders that are getting priced like up that way. It's easier for it to reject. So, and if you're having a, let's say you have a trend line, right? I don't really trade trend lines, but let's say you have a trend line. Damn, on the 5 minute, it's kind of steep. On the 5 minute, the trend line break would have been this. I guess, yeah. This, it's coming down. It didn't quite retest it before driving up, but you are retesting the daily lows, which is a strong level. So it all depends on what happens between here and here. Right, you could take a quick scalp up to here, but I would prefer for the bigger move where you have cleaner range, or at least a bigger range. From here to here we have 60 pips versus from here to here we have 30 pips. So you really want to see it clear that area. Hold on. You really want to see it clear that area to take the better position, because you could take a position here, but price could easily reject and then come all retest the lows all the way again. You see what I'm saying? Or you could wait and see if price starts to form support here and then break out to the upside, and then you have room, a 60 pip range to the upside here. Then you have 60 pips here versus maybe you get an entry here and your stop will be on the break of the daily low, right? Stop on the break of the daily low. This could be your break-even point. If you fly through this area, then you have all these levels here that you can target. So that's one. See when price is driving down like this, the first pullback, and then you get this first resistance forming on its way down. This is a super strong level. And what do you see when price got to this level? It just froze. So you really want to take this level into account and see what happens on your way from here to here. So buys might not be bad. Buys look probably your best plan, but you really want to wait to see if we clear these levels or reach the levels, reject, and then re-break the level, which would be a re-break of the daily high, and you've made a resistance here, you came down, and now you're retesting the resistance for like a fourth time, and that's, since it's the break of the daily high, boom, you can take an entry there. Yeah, options is teaching trendline trading classes. So every Sunday, or sorry, every Saturday on Market Open, we're gonna be trading trendline. We're gonna be showing trendline trading classes. It costs 1 BTC for entry. Send it through www.yougoscam.com. And look at my beautiful entry. And we still don't have any fucking bottom wicks on these 5-minute candles. So I don't know if I would have held any of this trade on the way up. But look at that. If you guys would have copied me there, that would have been a nice 21 pip banger. Listen, bro. I'm about to put my Bitcoin wallet just in case some rando decides to send me 1 Bitcoin for real, so then I can disappear off the planet. I'm just kidding. 1 Bitcoin is not worth it. 1 Bitcoin is 100K, right? Would you scam somebody for 100K? That's chump change. That's a good entry, bro. You see how we wicked that area perfectly, and now we're coming down to create bottom wicks for all that? That's a good entry. That's a good trade. That's a very good trade. We've rejected that level perfectly. That's a really good trade. We've now... See, I'll tell you what. If we come up, retest, and then re-break the low, I would be interested in some sells there. Yeah, I don't know how That's one thing about being in the air conditioning field, right? I make up the prices. So the company could tell me a price, but if I feel like it, I can add an extra $1,000. And you're hot, so you're gonna say yes to whatever price I tell you. So it's so easy to just scam whoever the hell you want. So it takes hella courage and balls to not do it. To sit there and say, wow, this lady was a bitch. What's stopping me from charging her an extra fucking $500 for this job? And then you're like, nah, I have integrity. I can't do that shit. I'm gonna charge her what I charge everybody else, and I'm gonna call it a day and just move on to the next one. That's one of the biggest things in this industry, which is why I got mad at that dude that's trying to sell HVAC courses, because their answer is just to sell more. So basically you're saying to scam more. Like, bro, if you can help somebody and make a little bit of money, just help more people and you'll make more money. Why are you trying to milk one person for all they have? It's insane. Like, oh, it's got to be high ticket sales. I'm like, brother, this old lady doesn't have 10K. She doesn't have it. You gotta have connections, bro. My mom owns a barbershop. One of the barbers in there gives me cuts, and I just send them a quick little under the you know what, and we roll out. My mom gives them a little hookup on the rent. This pullback needed to tap the SMA for me. If the pullback tapped the SMA and then rebroke the low, I would have entered. Listen, one thing that my Cuban dad taught me was, as immigrants, when you come to this country, we don't have money, bro. We had to find connections. We had to find friends that would help us. Like, when my parents, in the 2008, when they were giving everybody houses, when my parents first bought a nice house, we had like a wooden in-ground pool. Like, it was like the cheapest in-ground pool that you could pay for. And then we had 2 4-wheelers. And then the pool guy was like, I like your 4-wheelers. I'll redo your whole pool for the 2 4-wheelers. My dad was like, would you rather have a pool or 2 4-wheelers? And I said, I'd rather have a pool. Get rid of them 4-wheelers. And that's what we had to do. We bargained for the pool. The stucco on the outside of the wall, the house was wooden. So we put stucco on the outside. Me and my dad fixed the guy's air conditioners. We put in brand new ACs for him, and he came in and paid for the stucco, and he did it all himself. So it was an exchange of work. That's what these barbers don't understand. Yeah, but above ground pools are better. Like, not better, but for my stepdad has a big backyard, and he has an above ground pool. So once we got tired of it, we emptied it out, we moved it, he put some pavers in the middle, and now it's a fucking barbecue area. When he's tired of the barbecue area and he wants his pool back, he just built it back up and put the pool back. Cubans, bro. This area is strong. If we do the same thing that we did here, like this, but here, bearish, we could continue taking sells down. It's not better. I had an in-ground pool, and I can tell you that jumping off my second floor balcony into the in-ground pool was delightful. You can't do that on an above-ground pool if you want your fucking ankles. Yeah, you're right. So you look at NZD, you also look at odd JPY. I try not to look at many different pairs because every pair is kind of like a woman, right? they're all a little bit different, right? So you might see your setup happen on gold, right? And then gold will move. I mean, nah, gold gets some massive fucking moves. But for example, I'll give you a good example. Oh, look at this. Banger. I'll give you a massive example. Let's look at NQ, right? See this trade right here. In a day, gold moves. Let's look at the daily candle. And in a day, gold moves 108 pips on this massive day, right? Or 1,008 pips. If we go to NQ, on these daily candles, that's like 3,000 pips, bro. 329 ticks would be considered like 3,000 pips. The price on this is more. So if you get the bottom, you have to trade it a little bit differently. So I use less risk and I hold my trades a bit longer. Why? You have the same structure here as you do on gold, but when it does start pushing, bro, your tiny little position will literally fly 300 ticks, 300 pips in minutes. In like a couple hours, it's up 300 pips. So you have to treat this a little bit differently. See, look, we didn't really create much of a top wick here on the daily, and we're driving down, which means this rejection to the downside could be short-lived, right? Which means I am probably going to select all these trades and close them all right here. Because we don't have a nice top wick on the daily, we could easily come up to create a top wick, and on the next rejection down is when I'll re-enter sells on the top one competition. And right, if I enter sells with my stop loss at the highs here, that's 100 pips, right? 100 pips, I'll tell you right now, this is $2,000 loss. So I'm risking 2% here, but I'm going to be entering with a 2.5 lot. So that's going to be 2,500 bucks that I'm going to be risking, right? A little bit more, like almost 3 grand that I'm going to be risking. But I'm targeting these 4-hour lows here, right? The 4-hour lows here, from here, we have 54 pips. So that'll be about 1,000 for the 3,000, 2,500 that I'm risking here. But ideally, this is what I'm targeting. 240 pips here. The full rejection from here down to at least here. Ideally, I would probably just close somewhere here, which would be like 200 something, and then that's 200 for 100 stop. So that's a 1 to 2, and this is how I would trade the competition, to be honest. I would like another wick up and then a rejection down. On NQ here, we don't have a top wick on the daily, but on the but here, well, the daily hasn't closed yet here. Also, you don't want to trade too much. I over traded today, and I took some big losses. Let's go see. Look, I took 1,300, $1,000 loss, 200, 180. So I don't take big losses, right? 1,000, 1%, 1.3%, and I take a lot of little mini wins, 300, 300, 300, 400, 400, 400, 1,000. So this loss here was completely avoidable, right? This loss here, I think I was buying somewhere, I was selling, I don't even know what I was doing. I bought at 26.44. So we were at 26.44. I bought right here, or somewhere like right here. And then price started rejecting. No, where did I buy? Right here. And then price started going against me, and I closed my buy here, and then I re-entered more buys here, and then I broke even here. Instead of just holding my entry here, right? And then closing here in profit, I didn't want to see 2% of drawdown, so I closed. So because I was over risking, it caused me to take a loss and then re-enter on the rejection of this and take a break and then make it back but be break even. So in reality, if I would have had like a 1/4% risk less, I would have been negative like 1700 here, which wouldn't have been bad. And then once it wicked to the top, it would have been like a 2K trade. And then it would have brought me up to a 3% day, which 3% day on top one. Let's go to the standings and see the standings here. So 3% would have put me in 50th place. Right now I ended the day at like 1%. Right here, I'm 115th place. 115th. 67% win rate. Profit. And you could just click on the stats and see. Max. Let's look at the number 1 guy and see his stats. You're not going to show them to me? There we go. He almost hit the daily loss limit. Well, he was $1,000 short of the daily loss limit. On the same day, it doesn't say what he traded. Yeah, you're right. There's no such thing as that overtrading if you're executing your plan. I want to see us come down and re-break these levels here. But I don't know if I'm going to make it. I got to go to the gym in 10 minutes. So I'll tell you what though. If we do this, I will be taking re-break of this low entries. We would be breaking below the SMA on the 5. We would be breaking below this level here that we just rejected. If we come up, we wick it, and then we re-break the low, I would be taking a sell to fill the daily range down. But it would have to form this first. If we come up and continue re-breaking the daily highs, then I'm a little more skeptical. I want to see us break this area right here. And then I can take some buys up to fill here. Not much range. But a swing trade, let's see if I can set up a swing trade, right? The daily just started playing out. The 4 hour broke the low. The 4 hours coming up to re-break the highs now, right? We're going to experience some sort of pullback on this daily, likely. So it looks like we are probably going to continue pushing. The next level where we could reject off of, if we were to take a swing trade, would be here, 582 pips away. So let's look at the weekly. The weekly is about to flip, right? If we continue bullish and the weekly flips, that's where the weekly flips there. And the daily, the previous daily. Wow. If we flip here, right? If we break this level here, flipping the weekly, breaking the daily high, we could literally take swing buys to the top of this range, or at least to fill this wick. 570 pips. But stops would be fucking massive. 1,000 pips, jeez. I think the one-step challenge is probably better than the two-step challenge. I fucked up and I took the two-step challenge. The thing is that I've been over-risking here the whole time and I haven't broken a single fucking rule. These Forex firms make it too easy to pass to the point where you just gamble on your own. Because you're like, oh, I'm not gonna break a fucking rule. But then again, the futures firms are so cheap that you gamble because they're so fucking cheap. So these firms, the way they're set up, they just bring out the gambler in you. So if you're not able to lock yourself in and not fucking gamble, bro, this is what is possible, profitability, where at the end of the day, even after you've savagely have traded the markets and taken bad trades, you're still able to get out of the market alive because you're just executing everything that you see. And now that's where risk management comes in. Had I managed risk properly on this trade here, on the wick down, I wouldn't have been scared of drawdown and I would have held and caught the full wick up and been in profit. You see what I'm saying? So it's all little nuances like that little nuances like that what's it called, that changed the game. Like when Wix was saying today, like, you guys want a playbook from him, like, the thing is that the context in which the market is in is what's important first before you start looking at any candle formations, right? Because like, right here on the 5-minute, what's a good example? Right here. See how we have the money printer set up right here? The candle came up, grabbed a small little top wick, and then flipped bearish. You're rejecting off a major level, and your only levels are right here, and the wick isn't even that high. So just because you have a slight money printer play here, doesn't mean you can take it. I mean, you could have. You would have been break even at like 3 pips. 6 pips, not even. You wouldn't have seen anything before going break even. It wouldn't have even been a break even trade. Maybe some of you guys would have been break even, but other you guys would have held and just gotten fucking destroyed. Why? Because this is not a very strong level to look for a money printer play, especially when you're starting to reject an even stronger level. This level is way stronger than this level. So it's all about context in the market, right? The SMA has crossed over on the 5 and you're starting to scoop. Why would you look for a sell when the SMAs are starting to tell you that you're starting to trend the other way? You're starting to respect the support and you're starting to trend the other way. To take a counter trend trade, you would have had to have like a 2-pip stop and like a 3-pip break even point. Which if you're trading with no spreads on futures, yeah, you can do that. But on Forex with fucking 1.4 pip spreads. No, that's not 1 point. Where are the spreads at? I don't even know where the spreads are here, but they're huge. Look at these huge spreads, bro. That's trash. Here, I have 1 pip. 2 pips max. What time is it? Alright. Get this. Bam. And then I'll take us out. So it's all about context. Like if you're looking, I don't know. It's hard to explain. That's why you have to trade live. If you're not trading live, selling courses, that shit don't work. Unless somebody has watched you trade live. Like for example, us that we've watched Wix trade live for years. If he comes out with the course, you and I are going to understand what he's talking about. So, it all depends on how you trade, right, Stoogie? You want to, for example, you saw how quickly I went break even here and how quickly I'll go break even on certain trades, right? If we wick up, right? So, with 3-4 pip spreads that you're going to have on the no commission accounts, right? You would have gotten activated 4 pips earlier. So, once price first came up to retest these highs, you would have been entered, right? So you would have seen 10-12 pips of drawdown before I got entered and saw no pips of drawdown, right? So it all depends. I'd rather pay higher commissions for no spreads than pay no commissions and get higher spreads. So like, yeah, so you see how you would have gotten, let's say that this wasn't the rebreak and it didn't drive, right? You would have gotten entered, and let's say it rejected there because this is a strong level. You would have been in major drawdown and I wouldn't have been entered because I'm on futures and I have no spreads. Almost no spreads. Oh, options. It's I learned this the hard way. I would go into no commissions because I was trading like a fucking $100 account, and then my spreads would be so high I would see 10 pips, but it would only be saying 4, and then Don and Wix would be like, yeah, I'm closing out here at 10 pips, and I'm like, I'm up 3 pips. I'm up 3 pips. Why are you closing? And then I would just hold for a little bit longer, and then boom, see drawdown, because a lot of the times it would reject. So, and like, for example, Market Mechanic, I dropped his link up at the top. I'm going to pin it. He's streaming at 8. Market Mechanic, show up to his stream. He trades on his account, and he has super high spreads, but because he's a swing trader and catches anywhere between like 30 and like 200-300 pips, he doesn't need to worry about the spreads. Sorry, unless you're in sells or something like that, and your stop loss is above, and then you have to worry a little bit about spreads. You account for it, but 4 pip spreads on his 200 pip trade is not going to make a difference versus me. Like if you look at here on top one, right? I took 2 big losses, and then all my wins are like 300. 200, 300, 300. So these are 10 pip trades, 20 pip trades. So 4 pip spreads would be about 10% of the profit or 20% of the profit. So if I catch 10 pips and I lose 4 pips in spreads, I really only cost 6. So I lost 40% of my profit. So let's say I make $10,000 catching 10 pips. I will lose $6,000 just because of spreads. Fuck that. I'd rather pay high commissions and get no spreads. So we came back, we retested the entry that I had, and we started driving, and now we're about to re-break the daily highs. I would possibly take some entries here. Fuck, I gotta go to the gym and somebody's waiting for me. So you know what? I'm not gonna trade and I'm gonna be responsible and go to the gym. I'll be back, gang. See you guys later. I forgot to tell you. I forgot to fucking tell you. Apex gave me a discount code, 90% off if you guys use my code for Apex. I don't compete with futures firms, or sorry, with Wix or anything like that, for Top One or anything like that. So you guys can use his, but I use Apex and Top Step. Top Step doesn't give you a discount. Top Step is weird. It's a weird ass code. I don't know why they didn't give me my name. Fucking weirdos. But yeah, after I get home, I'm gonna cop one of the 50K accounts. They're only $12, bro. $12 accounts. Fucking cheap as shit. So see you guys later.